What's up, beautiful world? This is TNA, Top Notch Audio, and welcome to another episode of r/pettyrevenge. Our first story will be, dump out my laundry, enjoy being pretty in pink. Followed by, excuse me ma'am, I think I found your items and it said reward if found. And then, ask me for a favor and then slam me? Well, good luck. And finally, talk to me like rubbish? Wait extra time for your mayo, chicken. If this is your first time listening, remember to hit that subscribe button on the bottom right hand corner. If this is not your first time, welcome back. Enjoy the stories. And this next story is posted by u/JSeanSA. Dump out my laundry, enjoy being pretty in pink. This happened in the early 90s. I was living in my first apartment and working a crummy fast food job. One Monday, I realized I forgot to wash any of my uniforms over the weekend with just enough time to get it done before I had to leave for my shift. The laundry room was deserted and most of the machines were available because my shift started at 1 p.m. It was a trashy complex, so ordinarily I stayed and watched my clothes, but I figured no one would bother to steal KFC uniforms, so I walked to my unit to get a book. When I got back 5 minutes later, someone had pulled all my wet uniforms out of the wash machine and dumped them on the disgusting floor, then put a load of men's hospital scrubs in instead, stealing my 75 cents and soap. My first impulse was to reverse what the jackbutt did and confront him, but there was no guarantee he'd return before I had to leave for work. Instead, I wrung out my soapy laundry and carted it back home while fuming. I rinsed out a single shirt and a pair of pants, then headed back to the laundry room to dry them, and brought along a special gift for a hospital douche. I haven't seen anyone wearing white scrubs in a long time, but this was nearly 30 years ago, and that's what color HDs were. One of my store's managers gave the Crew Dollar Store Christmas stockings with candy in them the previous year, and I still had mine in a drawer. They were incredibly cheaply made and such an incandescently loud red they almost glowed. One of my coworkers' boyfriend cluelessly tucked her stocking in a load of socks, turning the whole lot bright pink. Her joke at the time was that all his socks in the load became her socks because he refused to wear them anymore. Everyone reading this figured out paragraphs ago exactly what I did with that stocking. A single polyester fast food uniform dries very quickly, so I already had it out and in a garbage bag before wash cycle hit spin. I sat reading my book while praying to the sky HD would arrive before I had to leave, which he did shortly after the cycle ended. I pretended to read as he opened the lid and started cursing while removing pink garment after pink garment from the machine. Halfway through unloading, he got my attention and asked if I seen anyone around the... I told him I hadn't, but that I'd only been there a few minutes. I asked him why. Was something wrong? He pointed to the Barbie pile and said, "This." I asked him what was wrong with his wife's clothes, and he said no, they were his. I affected being slightly taken aback and asked why he went with that color, to which he angrily replied that he hadn't and they were white. Having a friendly person innocently rubbing his situation in was making him madder by the second, so I told him there might have been something red left in the bottom of the machine by the last user and offered sympathy. He grunted in reply and returned to pulling scrubs out. A couple seconds later, he found the now faded and blotchy stocking and completely blew his stack. He yelled, "No, I know what effing happened," and launched into a raging tirade about what he was going to do to that effing effer. I expressed dismay at it being deliberate sabotage and left him furiously throwing scrubs into a dryer while I walked out shaking my head that someone could do something so low. The complex had a laundry room for each cluster of buildings and my place was equidistant from 2 of them. I switched rooms and never saw the guy again, which is a shame because I'd have killed to see him walking or driving around in one of his beautiful new outfits. Years later, someone told me he screwed himself by drying the scrubs immediately instead of rewashing them in cold water because a rewash would have faded them to a more gender-neutral salmon color. I don't know if that's true, but I hope it is and that his wife/GF called him an idiot later for unnecessarily locking the Barbie in. And this story is posted by u/cigar_dude. Excuse me, ma'am. I think I found your items and it said reward if found. I worked for this really terrible supervisor a few years back. I don't know what her issue was, but she was hell-bent on making my, and only mine, life a living hell for her own personal pleasure. I won't go into specifics, but she was sadistic and I think she actually got off on torturing me. Finally, the day came when she left, and celebration doesn't even begin to describe my emotions. However, right before she left, I decided to get my revenge. I went to Goodwill and bought just a bunch of random crap like books, old CDs, DVDs, and cheap stuff. Inside the covers, I wrote her name, her office phone number, and made sure to put in there reward if found. Then I proceeded to distribute all of the items in random parts of the city like bus stations, train stations, restaurants, the beach, or any public place. It only took a day for the calls to start coming in from people who found the items. At first, she was calm and explained that she didn't lose any of the items. Then it escalated to her screaming, "Look, I didn't lose a Hootie and the Blowfish CD, and even if I did, why the hell would I give you a reward for finding it?" It got to the point that upper management actually chewed her out because of the amount of personal calls that she was getting to her office phone. This caused her to temporarily disconnect her office phone because of all of the calls she was getting. A couple of months afterwards, when she got let go, and happiness is too weak to describe the emotional feeling I got. It wasn't because of this, rather accumulation of things which upset management, which included how she treated me. However, seeing her melt down because of random strangers calling her work number and then getting chewed out made me smile. And this story is posted by u/SpongeBob_NoPants. Ask me for a favor and then slam me? Well, good luck. Got a neighbor across the street. Never dealt with him much until last week. He came over when I was in my garage. He told me he was having an ATV delivered and wanted to know if the semi could use my parking lot to pull into and if I would be kind enough to use my forklift to take it across the street and to his garage. Hey man, no problem. Always happy to help. Later that night, I'm on Nextdoor. I don't go on it often, but sometimes I like to see what people are saying, and I see this about my company. Well, I see XYZ is still shut down over the pandemic. That's okay. The owner is kind of a butt and sells Chinese junk anyways, LOL. To which I replied, hey, good luck finding a place to pull that semi into tomorrow and good luck getting that pallet to your garage. Also, yes, I am a butt. He never said anything back. I never opened the gate on the parking lot and didn't help move the pallet. I did sit in full view of him as he was forced to unpack the pallet at the end of his driveway and walk it to his garage piece by piece though. He ordered the ATV from a website. They do not come fully assembled. And this next story is posted by u/Kate Shakes. Talk to me like rubbish? Wait extra time for your mayo chicken. This revenge is so petty. Throw back a decade, I was in sixth form, 16 to 18 years old for my American friends, and working at McDonald's on weekends for extra cash. At 10:30 a.m., we changed from breakfast menu to main menu, and there was typically a few minutes of blind panic where there was a slightly longer wait for food. 10:20 a.m., in comes this meathead who still looks half pissed up from the previous night and orders 3 mayo chickens. I inform him we will only be able to start cooking them at 10:30 as fryers are in use for breakfast items for another 10 minutes. He says okay, pays his 2.97 pounds and wait at a table. Worth saying, at this point it's a heaving Saturday morning, the first one after payday. Not even 5 minutes later, he comes up to me and says and shouts in a thick Scouse accent, "Oi, what you doing giving him his food before mine? I've been waiting here way longer." I informed him that customers had ordered off the breakfast menu, which we had ready to hand out. He looks pissed off, but nods at me. 10:30 on the dot. When I told him the chicken would be put down, he barges past other customers in the queue and gets up in my face, almost shouting now. "Where the F are my mayo chickens? You're taking the effing piss now." I tell him his food is being cooked, to stop swearing at me, and that it'll be literally 2 minutes. He continues, "This isn't effing good enough. No wonder you work at McEffin Donald's when you can't even cook a chicken burger." This sentence in Scouse was hilarious. I tell him to stop shouting and wait in line or I'll cancel his order and refuse service. He just says, "F's sake," and audibly mutters, "See," under his breath. At this point, I see 3 mayo chickens come sliding down the chute, and I just leave them. I left them there for an extra 5 to 6 minutes till I knew they'd go a bit more lukewarm while I started serving another customer. He tried to kick off, but I think he soon realized the more he did so, the longer he'd be waiting. And that's it, my pettiest of petty revenge. Oh man, those were 4 great stories. To hear the best stories of the week, click on the video in the top left-hand corner. To hear more Reddit stories all related to what you just heard, click on the video in the top right-hand corner. And if you have not already done so, click on the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. Once again, this is TNA, Top Notch Audio. Thank you for listening and have yourself a great day.